I see what he loves about you. You're so perfect. Hope you know.
Why not tell people that you're proud of them? Like how powerful it is if we acknowledge someone, even for the slightest change of improvement, especially that we see in them. Hey, welcome back to my channel. We're getting ready again today because we have dance class. I have dance class. You should have dance class too. Just kidding. Let's get ready. I'm gonna be putting on my makeup and my skincare, and we're gonna yap on the meantime. Let's go. Okay, first I'm gonna start with putting on my skincare. I'm gonna go with my essence water. This is my essence water. It's from the Beauty of Joseon. Okay, let's get to the topic, okay? Let's talk about acknowledgement. The reason why I want to talk about this topic is because this morning I had a coaching session which focuses around emotional intelligence. And what I love about it is that the people in the coaching groups they're so supportive, and they always acknowledge each other in everything that they do, especially the good ones. Of course, we don't talk about negative, like bad things that people do, of course, but like sometimes you talk about like negative emotions and things like that. But people in the group, they're so supportive, and I think that is one thing that I really love about being a part of a coaching group or leadership group, because you will be around a bunch of leaders who are having the same, who have the same goals as you and the same aspirations. They also are like seeing the same objectives and missions and visions as you do. So naturally, when you have these kind of people around, you tend to have similar behavior, attitude, and approach towards everything that is going around you. So that is an amazing thing to be happening. And this morning, when I had a coaching session, I think it's not really what I do that was acknowledged, but it was like what has developed in me since I first started. I was so surprised that people actually noticed, because, you know, if you are someone who grows up in a very emotionally unavailable household, you would know what I mean by you lack acknowledgement, because people are just so busy with their own struggles and problems that they don't really have time to think about you or to acknowledge about you in any kind of way. So when someone gives you like an acknowledgement about like the changes that has happened to you throughout the time frame that you have known these people, it gives you a sense of accomplishment and also like a sense of relief to know that people actually see that you are doing something, and they noticed that you have been working hard to get where you are. I'm saying this not as if like this is the first time I get acknowledgement, no, but it's just like today it kind of triggered me to talk about this, because for the past I think like maybe couple of years since I met the kind of friends that I have surrounded with now, that I like the kind of friends that I have now, and also the level of maturity that I have, I start to notice more and more progress or like things that people do to me, and I start to be able to process the people's action clearly, because previously I just never paid attention to it because I was just too busy people pleasing. But now, given the maturity, the mindset that has changed throughout my experience in life, it gives me that level of maturity to notice that people actually like recognize me, even though they are not really people who are like who I call family or blood family. The fact that I experience this with people now, it gives me a sense of accomplishment and also like a relief to know that people see that I'm just human, and whenever I make mistake, I am also like trying to improve myself in every way that I can. And for people to notice that, it's really, it feels nice. Okay, it boosts my confidence a lot, and on top of that, it makes me braver in terms of putting my boundaries and just implementing things that I find like this is where I stand in life right now, and this is how I'm gonna practice, these kind of things. And yeah, I feel like I'm just going all over everywhere here, but what I'm trying to say is that when we acknowledge someone, okay, like whenever we meet someone, right, and then we have an experience where we have to work with these people for, I don't know, a period of time, and then we see how people develop throughout those time frame that we are working with them, and at once we just acknowledge of the kind of changes, especially the positive ones, mainly the positive ones, that these people are having. It's just amazing if we are taking a step to acknowledge that these people has improved so much, because maybe it's not a big deal for people who didn't grow up in like an emotional unavailable house, but people who did grow up in an emotionally available household, these kind of things actually really help build their confidence in a lot of things, and also it can make them feel more motivated to provide so much more things to, let's say, the company or the organization. So, or even like to, let's say, like to personal level, or like to the relationships, to friendship, whatsoever. And I was just thinking about like how powerful it is if we acknowledge someone, even for the slightest change of improvement, especially that we see in them. It goes a long way, to be honest. I just love thinking about this, because when it happened to me today again, I feel like, wow, these are the things that has really healed my childhood issues of not the fear of not being seen, not really the fear of missing out, but like the fear of not being seen, because I'm just worried, like if I don't work hard enough, if I don't stand out hard enough, stand out bright enough, I will be like, I don't know, be left out and not being seen by people, and they're just gonna think that I'm not doing any hard work or whatsoever. This was like one of my biggest fear growing up, just like people not noticing that I am there. And for that, I feel like, wow, it is because people around me nowadays, they really acknowledge even the slightest improvements that I do. And I feel like it is because of that I have grown so much confidence in me, and these people gives me a reason to not worry too much about life and not take life too hard on my shoulder, like not to burden myself so much with opinions of people who doesn't really, care about this kind of thing. And yeah, I don't know if I'm like making sense, but like what I'm trying to say was that when we acknowledge people, like I think I said this as well before, but like when we acknowledge people, we actually really help, I don't know, maybe heal the part of them that has really, that has been abandoned growing up or something like that. So it's a very powerful move when we acknowledge people in any way. And if you think that, oh my god, she has improved so much in things, I want to say something to her, why not do that, right? Why not tell people that you're proud of them? And that is just such a beautiful thing, I feel like, and people should really like practice this more often. This is what makes me feel so motivated to attend coaching sessions every day. I think there is still some part of me who thinks of this as kind of like a, how do you say, like, what was the word? I lost, it was on the tip of my tongue. Validation. Okay, it was like validation, but when I think about it as well, it is not because of that. It's because like this is like all of these things said about, you know, me improving, or all this acknowledgement that has happened, like that has been given to me. It's improved my motivation to like not do, like half-ass thing, and also like to do my best, because I know that people will not get disappointed in me no matter like the outcome, because I know that I am supported, and I know that people are standing with me, not against me. So it relieves a lot of burden in that sense. So yeah, like as people, like why don't we just make it like a regular practice where we acknowledge people for even the littlest, the most little, smallest achievement that they have, because this goes a long way. Like today, for example, I've gotten this quite a lot, especially from my friends, my high school friends that I'm still close until now. I never noticed this before, that they have been hyping me up since like 12 years ago, and it's because like I didn't have the emotional maturity or the understanding to comprehend what acknowledgement was, because I was like too busy people pleasing people who I wanted validation from, and that was not nice. That was not a nice experience, right? But when I think about it now, I'm like, wow, I actually have been getting this support system since as long as I can think, as long like before I even understand what is acknowledgement. But it's just because I never understand like what form this is, what is this. That's why I never really like what do you say that, process it properly. And okay, like I think like I've never really I never really feel grateful about it. It's just not because I was not grateful, it was just because I didn't understand what it was, right? And now that I do, I'm like, wow, I have like support system since so long already, and then now that I know that, it makes me feel so grateful. And like even today, like how it triggers me was just like, okay, I wake up so early today, and people understand that regardless of the tiredness that I was feeling, they understand that I am also trying my best and I am also human. That's why they are like, yeah, shout out to you for changing, or like whatever like the topic is about, okay? And it kind of motivated me to feel like, oh wow, people know that I'm trying to do my best and trying not to disappoint them, and I'm trying my best, I'm just human, this kind of thing. And yeah, at some point I was like, wow, after the meeting I felt so inspired and so motivated to like finish my work much faster and finish my assessment much faster, especially like with people who are always supportive. And if they're within your circle, right, the feeling is just like so good, because you know that you have a good support system. And I finally understand that now. I finally see it now in life. Like I'm so grateful that everyone that I have in my life right now, I know I wouldn't be there without them. And yeah, I love everyone so much. Like it also makes you like, whenever you acknowledge people, you never know like the kind of inspiration that they may acquire, or the kind of motivation. Sometimes maybe if people are like so tired of dealing with human beings, and they're just like, because you acknowledge something good that they did today, or some improvement that you see has happened in their life, you acknowledge that, it kind of maybe might make people feel happy to be alive again, I guess, and give people a sense of purpose. So that's why, like, wow, I just think like even just a small conversation about like acknowledging what people has done and has like improved in their life. Amazing. Like, oh god, I don't know, like I keep on repeating myself because I just think that this is such an amazing thing, amazing stuff. So that's why, yeah. So that was like what I was thinking about acknowledgement. And I think like more people should practice this kind of skill to acknowledge people. It's like the kind of empathy, okay, the kind of emotional intelligence, because being able to acknowledge someone requires a lot of emotional intelligence as well, especially like in school. Let's talk about like students, right? If you are in high school or in primary school, as teachers, I feel like it's a huge responsibility of them as well to acknowledge every improvement that their students have made, because some kids are not lucky enough to grow up in a household where their parents acknowledge that they are doing well in life, they're doing well in their studies, they are, doing things that are good for themselves, for the school, for the society, this kind of thing. Some people are not lucky, some kids are not lucky to live in a household that, have parents who can say those kind of things to them. So they might grow up as always trying to people please and being emotionally unavailable and being hard on themselves all the time. It's really a struggle, and they might grow up being, I don't know, second generation of assholes. I'm just saying, okay? It doesn't have to be true. I'm sorry. But if you know what I mean, but like second generation of the cursed generation, what normally people nowadays call people who are like emotionally unavailable and not saying all this like good things to their kids or whatever, and it will affect their self-esteem as well. That is why I think it's so important for even in school, like teachers not only teach but also be taught to practice emotional intelligence. So yeah, hold on, let me just do my eyeliner. Okay. Back to what I was saying about like teachers. I genuinely think that teachers are just supposed to tell people or like tell their students to be like more aware, more emotionally aware. But I think teachers also have the responsibility to practice everything that they're trying to teach to their students. Like, for example, how are you gonna teach your student to be kind if you are not kind yourself, right? So be kind to them. And sometimes kindness looks like telling your students good things and not cursing the heck out of them. And even if like, okay, let's say they didn't pass an exam, but they did better than the last time, than the last exam. Acknowledge that, wow, you did much better than your last exam. And if you study more, you're gonna do much better for the next exam. It only takes you a little bit more studying to be able to pass the subject. I don't understand what is so hard about that. I don't understand why people make it so complicated for you to just be nice to your student and motivate them like that way. Why is it like you have to call your student stupid or oh, you're gonna be a failure? I don't know why. It's like you have all these problems at home and you're taking it out on like your students who are already living probably in a household that is like not healthy, and they have to go to school also to deal with that kind of like verbal abuse, and then they have to go home also to go to like a household that's full of emotional, physical, and verbal abuse as well. Like, why can't just, it doesn't make sense to me, like why people make so hard. But there are teachers, like, don't get me wrong, there are teachers also that are like super kind, and they are the ones who make certain students feel like life is worth living again. So yeah, don't get me wrong, but there are like majority of teachers also who always like take out their anger that from whatever issues they have at home on the students that they have in school, right? So I guess practice kindness, and yeah, a little bit goes a long way. But that's the talk about kindness. What we're talking about here is like acknowledgement. Okay, the power of acknowledgement. It goes a really, really long way. Yeah, that is like just that. Okay, when you acknowledge people, a lot of the times you leave a very positive impact to the people that you are acknowledging. You leave more positive impact than negative, because people will feel like much better, not just about themselves but also about the environment that they are in. Okay, this is not to like, oh, I'm just gonna blow your balloon and be like, make you feel good even though you're not. No, of course, when it comes to acknowledgement, we have to be honest, but you know, we have to also like practice it so that it can be a habit where people within your organization, for example, know that they are supported and they have good support system within their workplace or whatever, you know, whatever place. So yeah, don't make it so complicated for everyone. Okay, I'm just gonna finish my makeup now because I feel like I yap a lot. So okay, like the reason why I wanted to talk about the topic acknowledgement, the power of acknowledgement, shall I say, is because it's like such a powerful action that people often overlook as well. Like, just acknowledge people. What's so hard about being nice to someone and tell them like, oh my gosh, you're doing so good? I don't understand, like, what's so hard about that? Tell me, what's so hard to tell people that they're doing so good, they are slaying in life, and just wishing them all the good things? Like, what's so hard about that, right? Okay. Yeah, I guess all of us need a hard knock on our head, figuratively speaking. Okay, I'm not insinuating that you need to knock your head or something. I'm just saying, like, we need some kind of like a wake-up call to practice this kind of habit, because it goes a long way. It goes a long way for your mental health. It goes a long way for your colleagues' mental health, or people around you mental health, people around you's mental health, because it can boost morals that you never know was like needing some boost in the other people's lives. So yeah, that is the thing. Like, we all should like I guess think about in our actions, and whenever we think about other people and we just, you know, we see that people are doing good in life and they're doing much better in any terms that anything that they're doing, in any terms of changes whatsoever. It doesn't take $1 million for you to say, hey, you're doing so well, I'm so proud of you. It doesn't take $1 million to do that. You don't have to pay for anything. It's like literally free. Kindness is so free. Okay, so that's what I wanted to like say. I'm gonna straighten my hair now. I'm just gonna do that, and I'm gonna come back for the outro. So I kind of just like straighten and whatever, defreeze my hair. It didn't really work because I'm using this head for the hairstyler. I am not sure what this one is for, but I was hoping that it was gonna straighten my hair, but I guess it didn't really. But it did defrizz my hair, and I think that is enough. And I'm gonna put on my jewelry now. That's a lot of connecting words. Let's put on my jewelry. I'm gonna wear these earrings I got from Istanbul because they're so cute. Love it. Let me just brush it off. By the way, it is like spring here now, so the sun is out more often. It's getting quite warm. It's really nice weather, so we can start dressing up much more Asian-y, much more suitable with the Asian kind of, I don't know, weather temperature. And yeah, let's just end this video now. So thank you so much for being here. I talked about acknowledgement. It's something that I feel like now can be very useful for everyone to learn. It's a skill that I guess everybody needs to at least try to develop, because it's so beneficial, not just for yourself, but also like to just spread goodness and kindness to people around you, and to make them feel seen, maybe not always validated, but at least seen, and that they know that they have good support system around them, and that they know that they have like good people to turn around whenever they do a mistake, and that they can trust coming to you for any kind of advice that they might need. So yeah, that is it for me. If you managed to stay until the end of this video, thank you so much for being here. I hope you learned something, even though I yapped a little bit crazy, but there's always a start for something, and I guess for me it's here. It's a good practice for me to just talk while I'm getting ready, right? So that is all from me. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to grow my subscribers count and being consistent in uploading, and also improving in every uploads that I make. I hope it will gain more attraction from people. So yeah, thanks so much for being here, and I hope you have a nice day wherever you are in this world. Ciao. To be honest, I really don't know what to talk about.